Welcome everybody, my name is Shoaib Ahmed and this is the Teaching and Learning Academy. Today's video is all about something that I came across a little bit late in my teaching career. Basically, I, like many teachers, felt very overwhelmed when I first started the job. There was so much to do, it felt like there was never enough time. But through this method that I am going to share with you, I found that emails, productivity, paperwork, marking, all of those things became a lot more manageable. The method I'm going to share with you is a Japanese method called Kaizen or Kaizen, and it's basically broken down as two words, Kai meaning change and Zen meaning wisdom, and together what it forms is a Japanese method that people in management, in business, people in personal life, in Japanese culture quite normally do. But like I said, I found it very late in life, and it's also translated as being part of the 1 minute principle, and that's what I'm going to share with you. Now, the principle states that if something can be done in a minute, you should action it there and then. So if it's an email that you know you can answer in a minute, open it, answer it. If it's something that you can answer a question for a student or a customer inquiry, if you want to change the scenario, then do it. If it takes a minute, not a problem. And what you'll find is your productivity through the day will become a lot better. It will become a lot more manageable. So it doesn't matter what sphere of life you're in, if you apply the rule of Kaizen, the 1 minute principle, then you will find that all the niggly little things that you can do with very little brain power, basically, or very little expertise, they'll be all out of the way, and then what you're left with are all the big tasks, and then you can manage your time a lot more better with those big tasks. Sometimes we end up with 100 emails in our inboxes, 200 emails, depending on what role you have in whatever organization, and you're like, oh my god, how am I going to get through all of this, and how long is it going to take me? Now, if you take that scenario and go through all the emails and try, okay, well, that'll take me a minute, let me do that now. That'll take me a minute, let me do that now. And if it's a customer inquiry, as mentioned before, if it takes you a minute, let's do that now. And this way, what you'll find is, again, to repeat, your time management, your time management and your productivity will become a lot better. And what you've also got to do, and what you've got to get into the habit of, is managing your calendar based on this rule. If you know you've got an X amount of tasks that are very small for you to execute, but collectively they'll take an hour, then block your time in your calendar that this is what I've got to do then. Get all the niggly things done. Being a teacher, basically, the bigger tasks are planning the lessons, marking the assignments, going through the workbooks on whatever level you're teaching at. And this method really will help you manage those bigger tasks a lot better. The same thing applies for students as well. I mean, if you're swamped with assignments, and then you've got classes and you've got notes to take and what have you, and then you've got all these little tasks in your life to execute, then again, use the 1 minute principle. If something takes you a minute to do, then do it. And this doesn't have to be work related, it can be family related, it can be health and well-being related. If you know that you can do a workout in 3 minutes as opposed to an hour in the gym, and just make it a really high intensity workout, then do the 3 minutes. That gives you 57 minutes to do whatever else you need to do. And it's blocking that time out, basically. Everybody's got 24 hours in the day, but it's how we make use of those 24 hours that determines how overwhelmed or stressed out we feel. What we find quite often working in the education sector especially, and I'm sure it applies to many other sectors, is that you go into a team meeting, you're there for 1 hour, 2 hours, and when you walk out of that meeting, what you find is the bulk of the meeting, the most important, the key points, the problems and the solutions could have been dealt with in a lot shorter period of time. Bill Gates was very famous for doing his 3-minute meetings very, very productively. And the way he would do them was he'd sit with his employees, he would ask them what the problem is, see if they had the solution, and if they didn't have the solution, come up with the solution there and then you go off with it and you try it out, etc, etc. The idea is, and something for you to practice, is first organize your day, organize your diary, whatever you choose, be it Google Calendar, Microsoft Outlook, Office 365, whatever your organization tool is, and break it down from hour by hour or 15-minute segments. Those who are teachers basically would be able to put their timetable into their calendar, and then that way around it tells you on each day how much time you've actually got to play with, and then accordingly you can put those tasks in. It's like, well, that's a really short task and I've got segments here, let's bunch that in over there. And what you'll find is you'll become far more effective. Now some people will argue that, well, I'm living like a robot. This method I found to be quite profound for myself, and I found that the day becomes a lot more relaxed. When the weekend comes, it's yours. You choose to spend it however you want to spend it. A lot of these ideas are inspired by books like The 4-Hour Work Week, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the same themes I found by going through all of these books, the same themes apply. It's about managing your time a lot better. If you want to have time for all of these things, then managing yourself and blocking your time out to say, right, we can do this, or sitting down with your partner, if she's working or he's working, you do exactly the same thing. When have we got time this week to spend together? Maybe go out for a date, go out for dinner, watch a movie together. And when you do those things, then you'll be like, right, you know what, I've given adequate time to my family, to my friends, to my social circle, and even to my job, and I've got nothing pending to worry about. Another thing that I find very, very useful is a Sunday morning. When the house is quiet, I find it very, very productive. When the house is quiet, sit down, cup of coffee or whatever your choice of beverage is, and going through a checklist of everything that needs to be done in the week. And you make yourself a little chart and or mind map, whatever you prefer. And once you've done that, then going to your calendar and saying, right, okay, when have I got time for this? When have I got time for that? And then you also keep buffers, things that you don't expect to happen. So it's this 1-minute principle, this Japanese rule, I found to be very, very useful in both my personal life and my professional life. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get notifications for weekly content ahead. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.